Hi, I'm Gene Allen, and today is November 4th, 2025. This is the island that Amelia Earhart may have landed on in 1937 and then later perished, probably at the campsite at the far right side of the picture. We're looking from south to north. This picture is probably from a year later, 1938, when New Zealand had a survey crew at the island. And a few years later, during World War II, the U.S. military built a Loran navigation station at the southern end of the island, which you don't see yet. The right side of the picture is the windward side, and thus the left side of the picture is the leeward side, meaning it's protected from the 10 to 20 knot trade winds that blow most of the year from east to west, particularly in June and July. As a pilot myself, I picked the long, gently curving beach you see on the leeward side. That's where I would personally land if I were in Earhart's situation. It's over 2 miles long, it's fairly straight, it's wider than the windward side, and less debris washes up on the leeward side. So it just seems like a logical choice. It's hard to tell for sure, but it looks to me like the beach is a little wider in this picture than in modern day pictures, and maybe not so steeply sloping. You know, beaches come and go as the years go by, so you really can't judge what she saw by how it looks today. This picture is probably pretty close to how she saw it on that morning. The beach is long enough that you don't have to commit to any one section, just come in low, and when you see a nice looking stretch up ahead, just chop the power and land. Or, if the engines run out of gas before you get there, which they might have, you'll get to some part of the beach for sure. That would be my thinking. The beach landing just seems like a common sense thing for a pilot. And if you're a pilot, by the way, let me know in the comments what you think about that. So after picking this beach, I started looking around the area with Google Earth about where you see the arrow. And lo and behold, I started finding things. Yeah, really. And I'm not reverse engineering the beach landing story to fit. I actually did pick what seemed like the best beach to land on before looking for anything. So let's go take a look. I've tried to get this Google Earth viewpoint as closely aligned to the black and white photo you were just looking at as I could. And I'm going to take us over to my site here, where the yellow pins are where I think I've found evidence of a fuselage, tail, wing, and for details on that, see my other videos, which I'll leave a link to below. But now I'm going to point out something new. All right, and we'll go up the coast here just a few hundred feet. Notice in the picture, this is about the same viewpoint as the picture. The picture inset is one frame from a YouTube video from a 2011 helicopter tour by the island by the Tiger organization. I'll be a link to that below. At the 12-minute 50-second point, an unusual object briefly appears, just for a few seconds, and that's indicated in the red circle on the lower right corner. Now I'm going to show you a frame-by-frame slow motion enlargement of that object as it passes by. Notice how this object is aluminum colored and appears smooth, and occasionally you see little light flares from the sun as the helicopter passes by. So here we are back in Google Earth, and you might want to pause the video now and go back and take a few more looks at that section and see what you think. I'm not sure if it's anything. It looked like a wing to me, and maybe with some of the fairing from the engine still attached to it, but not sure. Let me know what you think. Definitely looks like something there though. So here in the lower right you see object and video. That's what we were just looking at, and I think this is where it's at on Google Earth, judging by the tree and a few other things I was able to line up. And what do we see? I don't know. I know you're used to me seeing things where they're almost impossible to see, but I honestly haven't figured this one out yet. It does look unusually bright there, and I see some grayish looking stuff over here, but not really sure what's there. Let me know if you see anything. But if you just look over here, now I see something. I see something very aluminum looking and reflecting light, like it would if it were a round cylindrical type object. And I see a round area here with dark in the middle, like where an engine would be. I don't know if there's an engine there or not, but this could very well be an engine cowl. I see kind of a back edge here. That's about right if you look at the picture in the inlet here. Okay. And let's take the Google measuring tool and see what it says here for the opening. It says 6.1 feet. That's reasonably close. So this is looking more interesting. So I'm going to tag that as an engine for now, worth further investigation. There's other objects in the area, if you look around, that have some metallic look to them. I can't identify them as one thing, like this, for example. This may be a bird flying by, photobombing the engine. And the light flare there, the birds are pretty white. It's not the aluminum color that I like to see. So let's get back out here, get the lay of the land, the engine, the object in the video. They're just a couple hundred feet away from the main site here, where I have the wing, fuselage, and tail. I actually have an engine over here too, so now we have now I have 3 engines, which obviously isn't the case. But the one over here at the main site, I'm not very confident about, so I probably wouldn't have even mentioned it if it weren't in proximity to what I think is a wing. Well, that's it, folks. Thanks for listening, and I appreciate your time.